guys. I am so excited because today is the very first day we've had sunshine and it is glorious. It has been 50, 55 and raining every single day for the past like over a week. And I am so sick of it. I'm just like bitter and mad that my whole summer is being wasted by rain and 50-degree weather. So I'm out here in a t-shirt today and I'm hot. Actually, it's like 64 and sunny. I'm sure some of you listening to 64 and sunny and being hot is like hilarious, but for me, that's hot. And so today I finally thought I would get around to doing a project because I've been kind of waiting all week for this moment, you know? I couldn't really do anything when it was pouring rain. So today is going to be like the day of the trees. We have 2 trees that I need to move. No, I'm not moving. I'm pulling them out of the ground and throwing them away because they are dead. We gave them our best shot, but they are gonzos, dunzos. And so we're going to rip those 2 out of the ground, remove them. Then I ordered a Beni Maiko, I think that's how you pronounce it, Japanese maple from Landscape Alaska in Juneau. I came and picked that up last week. It looks gorgeous. We're going to be putting that in the shade garden. And so I'll be putting that one in the ground. And then my neighbor just up the hill, we kind of joke that he has a maple tree farm because he just gets all these maple tree seeds to just kind of like propagate in his yard. And he's got like 6 maple trees. I actually got a maple tree from him 2 seasons ago, I want to say. Let me go look. Can you see this tree right here? Maple tree. Look at how bushy it is. That was like half the height of it. And I got that from his yard. We dug it up, went over there with a shovel, pulled it out of the ground, plopped it in here, and it transplanted fantastic. And obviously it's young and small still, but lots of good growth has come out of that. It's probably doubled in size. I know it's gotten tons of leaves and branches. I mean, it is doing really, really well there. Jesus, I need to trim out those salmon berries over there. Oh my God, look at them. They're like twice the height of the maple. Okay, so we got our fork, a wheelbarrow, some gloves. That is the dead tree. Look at it, is just dying. It's turning brown and yellow and it just looks worse and worse as you look further in. I don't know what happened. Also, it's a very odd shape, but we're just gonna rip it out of the ground. It's also way too close to the house anyway, so this is just gonna go. So we're gonna dig that out. Oh, this lady, chilling. Pearl, are you happy? Chickens just look so funny when they sunbathe. It just, I don't know, kind of brightens my day. If it weren't for all the sun, it would be pretty dark and depressing, but at least we have the chickens. I got my gloves on because that spruce is so pokey and sharp. Such an aggressive tree. One down, next one. This bull pine. Now, if you guys have been watching my channel for a while, you know that this bull pine, oh, there's a squirrel on the tree. Look at him. Whoop, there he goes. Okay, sorry. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that this bull pine was actually a Christmas tree that we cut out of the muskeg behind the old hospital where I worked. And we put it into a pot and we tried to keep it like a live Christmas tree in my office, but we had to cut a lot of roots and we weren't sure it was going to survive. And so after the Christmas season in January, we pulled it out and we put it in the ground here. And it was kind of an ongoing joke amongst me and my old coworkers was like, if this tree lives every year, I'll decorate it for Christmas, like string some lights on it and stuff. But I gave it since Christmas, so, you know, 6 months or more. And it is turning browner and browner and browner with the day, and she just doesn't look good. So I think we've reached the end of its life here, and it's time to pull it out. So let's get it out. Also, I have to go switch shoes. I'm in my nice shoes. Anyone have a pair of like nice Berkeys and then, you know, like yard chore Berkeys? Well, these are my nice Berkeys because I was just out downtown with a friend and I need to get on my chore Berkeys or my Crocs. Crocs would probably be better because it's so muddy. Hey, Raj. You fended off a neighbor cat today. That was good. You're defending the house. Good job. Okay, guys. Yard shoes are on. We're headed out to get the bull pine out of the ground. It looks so dead that I doubt that it had much root development, so I'm guessing it's going to be pretty easy to pull out of the ground, but I don't know. Guess we'll see. First, we got to remove our stake. Okay. Let's see how much of a pain this is, or not a pain. Okay, based off of how easy it was to pull out of the ground, I don't think it had any root development. Okay, I'm just gonna go dump these 2 dead trees in the compost pile, and then we'll get the Beni Maiko planted. Okay, so I just wanted to give you guys a zoomed out view. This is a shade garden that I've been working on getting cardboarded, and the chipper is actually being rented tomorrow. And I've got a whole bunch of stuff way on the other side of our property that needs to be chipped. So this will be mulched probably this weekend. So I was just finishing up doing the last bit of cardboarding, but I want to get this tree in the ground because it'll be way easier to do that instead of putting the mulch, taking it off, and then doing it back. So the Beni Maiko, I'm thinking this is a perfect spot for it. I need access to our fuel tank for our gas stove. So I'm going to leave, a pathway so that people can kind of like walk in here. Maybe I'll put some stepping stones back to that. But I think I'll just plop it in the ground right here. I'll kind of fill ferns in all around it. There'll be ferns keeping this protected. The rhubarb will live here. And it'll just be like a really great shade spot for this part of the house. Now this gets all kind of like morning light. It kind of like seeps through the trees once it gets up above the horizon, up above the trees, and it comes in, kind of scatters in through the trees. It gets kind of midday sun, which is right now. And then as soon as early afternoon, mid-afternoon hits, the house shades this whole spot. So this is kind of the only little bit of sun that it gets. Otherwise, it's a full shade garden most of the day. I think this tree is supposed to get like 8.5 to 10 foot tall at maturity and maybe 5 to 6 foot wide. It's supposed to be more of like a bush Japanese maple, which I think will be kind of perfect for this spot. And I just want to have a whole bunch of ferns and hostas and fun shade plants kind of like in and around the area where the tree is. So let's get this tree in the ground real quick. Okay, I am absolutely just sweating, which is really gross. But I can't complain because this is like the only day I've ever been able to sweat in the past like month. So, what do we think? Doesn't she look perfect there? She was mostly straight actually once I got her into the ground. But I added the stake with just a slight pull to the back because she was just slightly tipped forward. So I think it looks great. Let's look. Oh my goodness. Like, can you imagine that with all those fresh fern greens and the hostas around the base of this and mulched, and then just like this beautiful array of color? Oh, it just looks perfect right there. I just think this is such a beautiful tree. The shape of the leaves, the variety of the color, the stems being such a bright red tone. And like just the sheer volume of leaves too. Amazing. I'm very excited that the 2 dead trees are out because I couldn't stand looking at them, and that the Beni Maiko is in its place. It's going to do so much better now that it's in the ground instead of just sitting in that pot. Last thing on the day of trees is to go to my neighbor's house, collect that maple tree, dig it up, and then find a spot for it. And I'm thinking, since the whole chicken run area doesn't have really any coverage, I did put that one little maple, but it's going to take a long time for that to really provide some shade and to grow up and mature. I think I might put it in the chicken and duck run too, so that'll take a little bit of finagling. But I'm going to go get that tree, and then we will go put it in the ground somewhere. This is the maple tree farm at my neighbor's house. Isn't this the cutest little thing, you guys? Like, look at that. I'm going to take this big one. So we got the maple. Look at how big these leaves are, you guys. Like, that is the size of bigger than the size of my hand. Like, and it's got all this fresh growth. It's a big tree. It's got a little bit of a curve at the bottom, so we'll just bring a stake with us to stake it up, and then we'll have to wire cage it so the chickens don't eat all the leaves. Let's take her back to her new home. The chair's looking good. Fire pit looking good. All the stilby starting to come into bloom. Look at that. We got a clematis bloom. Gorgeous. We got peas that are climbing up the clematis. And we got your nasturtiums. We got some lettuce in there. Everything is just looking so good. I just wish I had a little bit of color in here. But I think once the nasturtiums start to bloom, that will be kind of filled in. And then once we get more of these astilbe blossoms. And the ladies are going to be getting some more shade cover. So this is exciting. They really like to have things to kind of hang out underneath. So I think it'll be really good for them to have these two maple trees back here. I think it'll really start to also soak up a lot of the moisture because it is like a mud pit. Sorry, Coast Guard helicopter just went by. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. Let's finish our tree project by putting this guy in the ground. I think this tree is going to go kind of right here, and it can grow up and kind of shade this spot. Hey, get away from my tree. Hey. Shoot. You're already eating my tree? Jesus. So rude. Okay, are all of you gonna agree to leave that tree alone? Or am I gonna have to put a second layer of stuff on it? Love to see what you guys do. Nutty, nutty birds. I know the sun's coming in, so it's hard to see, but we got our maple tree in. It's a little bit shorter, so I'd say it's probably 4.5 feet tall. Definitely almost double the size of this maple tree that we put in, which was doing fine, but you can see where the naughty ladies have been biting the leaves, so I might have to widen this out. I have to do that this week. But for now, I got a wide base around here, and I put little stakes in, like tent stakes, that will kind of hold it in, but at least it should protect the majority of the leaves, and then everything above should be fine. If I notice that they're jumping and trying to get after the tree, then I'll come back and I'll put a second layer of fencing up that's higher. But we'll just kind of wait and see, because I don't know. I can never know with you. Okay. Shoo, shoo, shoo. Shoo. You're looking for a chicken breed, I highly recommend black Australorps. They are the kindest, sweetest birds. Very friendly, very good with people. Good if you have kids, highly recommend. And they're very proficient egg layers. They lay quite a bit. So definitely try out black Australorps if you haven't already. I'm just checking in on these birds. Look at them. Pearl is particularly very mischievous. Pearl, are you being naughty? Don't be teaching those teenage birds what not to do. Hey, hey. Okay, I'll probably be out here all afternoon just watching after them, making sure they're not digging up my tree and eating all the leaves off of it. We got 2 trees removed, 2 trees put in, the Japanese maple, Beni Maiko variety, and whatever, maple tree this is. It's just a regular maple, it's not a Japanese maple. But the other the other two maple trees that I have on my property are doing really great, that I transplanted from, anywhere from 3 to 6 feet tall. So I'm really feeling good about that. And I'm really hoping that this will, having 2 or more trees in here, will help to absorb some of this moisture that builds up from just having all these birds out here and all the rain that we get. So that is it for the day of the trees. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was fun for me to get out here in the sun and enjoy myself. Chipping is going on tomorrow and maybe a little bit of Saturday morning if we don't get it all done tomorrow. And then I will be sharing my next video with you guys, which will be the fully chipped new garden bed, part of the expansion that I did the other week. So really excited for that. Anyway, thanks for watching and we'll see you later.